even Floyd, like when you make yourself like we got issues over anger, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah. That's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money's gone, trust me. Now it's like, if you call him, he'll be at your local hosting in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Wow.
This was a rather startling revelation from 50 Cent in regards to the financial status, the financial standings of one Floyd Money Mayweather. That given his lavish lifestyle, his decadent spending habits, at this point, this is a guy who may just have to snap back his inactivity.
He's broke.
Go back to the squared circle.
He's broke.
And have more fights.
He's broke.
Because as hard as this may be to believe,
he's broke.
He spent all the money that he's made so far. A hard pill to swallow for some, difficult to conjure, that a man who has put so much distance between his earning power and that of everyone else could have actually blown through that money. I mean, is that possible? And
anything's possible.
As disturbing as this might sound, I dare say yes. Not that long ago, I saw Floyd Mayweather advertising
what was that shit?
Windows. And I'm not talking about Windows, the software. I'm literally talking about Windows.
Hi, I'm Floyd Mayweather. Call Love Windows right now. 0800-644-4644.
Love Windows presents triple glazed windows, only $299 each. Any size, fully fitted, and a 15 years guarantee.
Call Love Windows right now at 0800-644-4644. Remember, call right now.
One has to ask themselves, why would a world-renowned fighter, the likes of a Floyd Mayweather, be lending his name to some obscure window repair company from the United Kingdom?
I don't know.
Given everything that he's amassed so far, I mean, all things considered, whatever they gave him for this promo, it's really small potatoes compared to what he's pulled in already. So why would he be doing this? I mean, is this supposed to be some kind of a favor to someone? Because that's the only way it would make sense to me. Why would Floyd Mayweather, of all people, be lending his name to some obscure window repair company in the UK?
I don't get it.
That whole exhibition thing he did with Tenshin Nasukawa, even that felt a bit strange because that, like this, felt like, it was small potatoes compared to the kind of events, the kind of dollar amounts that Floyd Mayweather has already amassed, has already gotten for his fights with Canelo Alvarez, his fights with Manny Pacquiao, Marcos Maidana, Miguel Cotto. I mean, several successful events. I mean, we are talking about Floyd Mayweather here. So context is already implied. We are talking about what has been the biggest pay-per-view fighter in the history of pay-per-view. And yet he's seen here, lending his name to some obscure window company. And it's not like it's unusual for a fighter to advertise a product. But we're not talking about a Nike, we're not talking about an Adidas or an Everlast or an Asics even, we're talking about some window company.
Nobody knows.
When he had that exhibition match with Tenshin Nasukawa, the story was that Floyd Mayweather was given something to the tune of $9 million for approximately 139 seconds. And that seems like a lot of money to guys like me and you. That may even seem like a lot of money to a lot of pro boxers who are having these high-level fights for $1 or $2 or $3 million a fight, It seems like that's a lot of money to Joe Blow. But for Floyd Mayweather, that really is a nominal amount of money given what he already made in fighting Conor McGregor and fighting Manny Pacquiao. So why would Floyd at this point be fighting for $9 million in some obscure promotion over there in the Far East against a kickboxer for $9 million? I mean, that didn't strike you guys as kind of odd?
Did to me.
That Floyd was participating in this thing? And even now we're hearing rumblings, rumors of what could be a Mayweather-McGregor 2 or something like that, or a Khabib fight? I'll tell you that it's not the pursuit of more money that I find bizarre so much as the avenues that are being perused. We're not talking about Floyd Mayweather partnering up with some major corporation or some major entity. We're not talking about some new endeavor per se. We're seeing Floyd Mayweather pop up in strange places for what could only be described as nominal amounts of money for him, given his earning power so far as a fighter. That's what makes it peculiar. It's not the rich seeking to get richer that is strange. That's run-of-the-mill. You expect that. I mean, look at 50 Cent. 50 Cent has graduated from being a recording artist to being a full-fledged producer of multi-million-dollar projects on broadcast network television. So at this point for 50, being a recording artist would be more of a hobby than a primary source of income, of revenue, because he's outgrown that. The same is true of Jay-Z and many other, notoriable people that are out there. So they've graduated from that. And you expect the theme to be an in-keeping theme when it comes to Floyd, that Floyd shouldn't really have to fight anymore because look at all the money that he's made so far. He's got plenty of startup money for just about any project, any endeavor that he chooses to engage in, or he should. But we're seeing him advertise windows.
Love windows.
We're seeing him participating in strange exhibition matches, in obscure promotions. We're hearing rumors of a return to the ring to fight more mixed martial artists.
Give me a break.
I'll tell you that in light of 50 Cent's comments, something rings true. Something resonates. I would hate to think that Floyd Mayweather, through the frivolity of his spending, has cost himself the fortune that he's worked so hard to get. I find that startling. I find it disturbing if this is true. It's for this reason that I'm hoping that it's not true. But there are signs there, aren't there? How much money could he be making from Gervonta Davis, for example? Gervonta Davis, who isn't yet a pay-per-view star. Some people think he's on his way. Some people don't. But here today, he's not there yet. His very next fight could be a pay-per-view. But as it stands, how much money could Floyd have made from Gervonta Davis? How much?
I don't know.
Enough to keep himself and his spending habits financially afloat? I don't think so. No, I mean, Gervonta Davis isn't pulling in a fortune with his fights. Far from it. What about Floyd Mayweather's other fighters? Badu Jack, he's a TMT fighter. But do you think that Badu Jack's recent activity has been enough to keep Floyd Mayweather financially afloat? I mean, we just saw Badu Jack come back to the ring, and lose. One of Floyd Mayweather's other fighters, Ronald Gavril. That guy hasn't had a fight in 2 years. So you can't be making any kind of nothing off of him. Unbeknownst to most. Savannah Marshall used to be a TMT fighter. She did. And she was a TMT fighter for all of one fight. And then she ended up going elsewhere. She ended up going to MTK Global, which subsequently turned into a relationship with Matchroom. But when she started out as a TMT fighter. And that lasted all of one fight, I mean, what's really going on here? Are we seeing the signs of Floyd Mayweather's financial demise? That fiscally, he's hurting? I'll tell you what. You start hearing rumors about Floyd Mayweather liquidating his assets, and that's a flag, folks. That is a flag. Because no matter who you are, doesn't matter, okay? If you're burning the money at a faster rate than you're bringing it in, it's going to catch up to you. And at least according to 50, it's already caught up to Floyd. I want to say that Floyd Mayweather, the fighter, was a workaholic, a consummate professional with a work ethic that is unmatched.
He's in a league of his own.
By, most other professional boxers that are out there. I mean, this guy really was a gym rat, and he honed and perfected his craft. That is as a boxer. But the same cannot be said of Floyd Mayweather, the promoter. The time and attention that he gave honing his fighting ability and his skill set was not dedicated to honing his abilities as a promoter, to develop talent and sell it. I mean, as it stands, Gervonta Davis is more of a social pariah in the boxing community than a star. Oh, a lot of people know who he is, but a lot of people don't really care for him. And you could argue that playing the heel can prove to be lucrative, but as it stands, Gervonta's not there yet.
Not yet.
Why is that? He's not a pay-per-view star yet. He's not a pay-per-view attraction. He hasn't sold a pay-per-view here, there, or anywhere.
Not yet.
So you can't jump to the conclusion that a fighter like Gervonta's keeping Floyd Mayweather afloat at this point. I mean, that's a pretty big burden to put on the shoulders of a guy who's not even a pay-per-view attraction yet. Where would Floyd Mayweather, the last 2 to 3 to 4 years, have been pooling in the money, earning it at a rate faster than he has been spending it?
Can't be boxing.
Can it? I mean, you tell me. You know, TMT, the money team, as a promotional outfit in the sport of boxing, doesn't have any network deals, any network engagements similar to the one that, say, Top Rank has with ESPN that could have possibly kept Floyd afloat. You understand what I'm saying? That they don't got a deal like that with a major network like Top Rank and ESPN, or a deal with a platform like DAZN, like the deal that DAZN and Matchroom have with them. You understand? For what it's worth, yes, Floyd Mayweather is a very big name in the sport of boxing, but his promotional outfit really is on the smaller end of the spectrum, and his fights with his fighters, they're a part of Premier Boxing Champions deal. However, every PBC fighter is not a TMT fighter. So I'm not seeing how Floyd could have stayed afloat given his spending habits, via his promotional company. It just doesn't look that way. If Floyd Mayweather really has blown through the fortune that he has amassed, wouldn't that serve as a cautionary tale for most every single pro fighter out there, male or female, that you can be Floyd Money Mayweather. You can have earned more money than anyone else out there. But if you don't take care of business, not just inside of the ring, but outside of the ring,
It'll catch up.
doesn't matter how much you made. You're going to end up back at square one. I mean, that really would be the cautionary tale. And there are any innumerable number of these cautionary tales in the sport of boxing about guys made a lot of money and they blew through it frivolously, buying things that depreciate in value, like cars, stuff like that. You're spending your money on toys, like a kid in a candy store. And you're buying toys just because you can. Sometimes you don't even really want them, but you get them because you can. Mm-hmm. And over time, it costs you. It costs you more than what it costed you before you drove it off the lot. It's that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look at a fighter like Tevin Farmer, for example. He lost that Jojo Diaz fight. And, he lost his belt. But for what it's worth, Tevin Farmer financially is in a better position here today than he was several years ago because he made certain investments in real estate, and what he's doing now is flipping houses with his lady friend. So even if the boxing stuff might be going in a downward spiral, who knows? I mean, it might not. But even if it were, he would have that nest egg, those endeavors, that to which he can fall back upon and still live a comfortable life. Whereas, you see the amount of money that Floyd spends. This guy pisses away millions on jewels and cars and trips and this and that. And it all looks nice. I mean, it's all good stuff for Instagram. But on a long enough timeline, it all catches up, doesn't it? If you're not bringing in more than what you're spending, it's going to catch up. It's only a matter of time. I hope that's not the case for Floyd.
That's fucked up.
Be an awful pity to see
Financial ruin.
where he got to and see him reduced to financial ruin on the wings of negligent and frivolous spending. Would be a great pity. I don't want you guys to take these talking points as gospel per se, so much as insights, potential clues as to whether or not there's any truth to what 50 Cent is saying. But that 50 Cent is saying this is beyond reproach. It is beyond debate. It is a matter of fact that according to him, Floyd Mayweather is facing tough financial times. Are they as severe as what we are describing here? Perhaps not. Perhaps he still has some money left over. I mean, perhaps not as much as me and you might think. Perhaps he's blown through a large chunk of it. And maybe it's not as bad as our imaginations lead us to believe. But that 50 Cent is saying these things with such confidence, as if he knows, as if he's got the inside track. That he's saying these things is what needs to be reconciled, because at minimum the question becomes, why would he be saying this if he didn't have a reason to believe it? Why would he say this publicly on the Ebro show, which is listened to by millions of people? I mean, why would 50 Cent feel confident enough to make this kind of a claim if there weren't some kind of truth to it? I mean, he's got to be more privy to this stuff than me or you. All me and you can do is react to it and look for the signs. I will say that there are signs there, things that seem peculiar, but perhaps it's not as bad as me and you think. I don't know. At this point, it really is just speculation, though I will reiterate what I said earlier in the video, that it could happen, that it's possible. Oh yes, it most certainly is. It is. Just like there are signs of financial stability, there are signs of instability. You know, we know George Foreman, he made himself a whole lot of money off of those grills. And while those George Foreman grills may not be as popular as they used to be, there's still residual money. I'm pretty sure there's still people out there, you know, making some money for George by purchasing those grills. You see Mike Tyson, he's made some very lucrative investments as of late. You're seeing him pop up here and there. Looks good. There's an air that comes with fiscal stability, just like there's an air that comes with fiscal instability. That the telltale sign of a guy who's doing all right isn't showing the money that he has, spending it. That's not really the sign so much as not having to. Floyd Mayweather's no teenager. He's no tween. He's no young adult. This is a fully grown man in his 40s. And at this point, you know, it's not about what you're showing so much as what you're not showing, because you don't have to. At this point, it's implied just based on who you are. And you know, I don't know. I mean, things do seem a little shaky, though, don't they? I hope that for the sake of Floyd Mayweather and what hard work can get you, that these rumors, rather, these quotes from 50 Cent, I hope that for the sake of hard work and dedication, as it were, that none of this stuff is true, and this guy's, you know, still in good financial standing, but that this is a talking point, and that this could be what's going on. Oh yeah, it's entirely possible. As disturbing as that might seem to Joe Blows like me and you, blue-collar guys, yeah, it's possible that Floyd could have blown through his money. I can totally believe that. I just hope it's not true.